Heathen or welcome to Kicking Dust. Ooh, a relative smorgasbord of topics for today. I think this is coming while I talk to you through your ears. Your eyes will be enjoying a domination match where we get stomped. I warn you now, there is a little bit of tanking towards the middle and end, but it's my speed Madruga fit, so hopefully you'll find it amusing to watch me flail around trying to kill stuff really quick. So I warn you now, there are tanks in this particular match. Anyway, lots going on at the moment, and what I wanted to talk today about is quite an interesting topic around the PS4. One of the things I've seen recently on the PS4 is they are going to do, I should have probably researched better for this, but there's going to be a website application thing on PS4 that enables you to actually play PS3 games through it. I can't understand why on earth, even from a business point of view, I maybe don't get this, why you would release a console that doesn't allow you to play the games previously where they've done it before. So you could buy a PS3 and you could play PS2 games. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure you could. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm completely wrong. But I mean, was it the PS2? You could play PS1 games. Either way, I know you could do it on one of the platforms. So to release the PS4 and not be able to play PS3 is quite unusual. It's probably some weird, nerdy coding, programming bollocks that nobody really cares about, that, you know, the marketing men would have probably effed and blinded about, because it does seem kind of limiting to not be able to play a PS3 game on a PS4 when in theory it's a continuation of the brand, if you see what I mean. It's like saying, oh, we're going to release the next iPhone, but sorry to tell you, it's entirely different. It's just completely different technology that uses your brain as the it's like that. It's kind of like, we'll call it something different then. Don't call it the PS4, call it the PS not backwardly compatible amazing gaming platform. Interestingly enough, lots of people, not naming any because you know me, no trolling, I don't do trolling anymore, son. A lot of people who left and sent really nice kind of, we're leaving, sorry, we're going, enjoy Dust, lol, we'll be playing our kind of executive level games at on the PS4. They've come back and they snuck in, and I'm not saying anything yet, but the troll that they will receive in game will be of epic proportions. It's nice to see, I joke of course, it's nice to see people coming back to Dust. I think, it's not a bad game at all. I think, as it stands, it's fun. Let's not forget that. We wouldn't sit here and get all kind of flamey and passionate about stuff. I wouldn't do videos of it if I didn't find it fun, to be honest with you. So I think it's nice to see people coming back. What I think makes no sense at all is that the game is just completely locked to the PS4 currently. Now, no, let me moderate that. Currently, it makes sense to do that. I think in the future, it should be on a roadmap, I'm sure, to then have the ability to play Dust, maybe through this compatibility app thing that they were talking about. Somebody's going to post in the comments and say, oh, Pyrex, you're such a twat. This is what it's called, and I know all about it. Here you go, lol, you're a noob. In which case, you are more than entitled to do that, and I will, literally officially name you the man who knows stuff about PS4. Or woman, because you never know. And I think either way, there is something coming that will enable that, which is a good thing. But I would have thought it just makes sense at some point to maybe say, yeah, in the future, maybe we'll do this. I don't know. I don't understand the non-committal nature of companies nowadays. I know that the worst thing you can do is say, yes, we're going to release this on the PS4, and then you don't. Okay, but language is such a wonderful thing. You could even say, CP could even say, and I quote, Dust 514 will one day be, maybe, we will possibly look into maybe one day releasing Dust 514 on the PC if the environment is correct and the conditions are right and the business model works. That's all it needs. Seriously, just do that and you've got people saying, there's a commitment to, but there's not a promise to. And that's what I think so many people get wrong. We do a lot of this in my IRL boring, shitty corporate job. And what's interesting is that, sometimes when you are trying to win work, when you're trying to, bid multinational corporations, blah, blah, if you sit there and say, sorry, we're going to be to the letter of the wording, no, you'll never make it to the final point. But if you're, as long as you don't mislead, as long as you don't misguide, then that's fine. And I think a lot of the issues that people have had with this is that there's just been no message about the PS4. And I think it could have been handled better. It could be, we would love to release Dust 514 on the PS4. Should the technology be able to play the game properly, and should the business model be there? That's all it needs. That's all it needs. I should be a spokesman really for CCP. I could be one hell of a spokesman. I think every time that somebody whined about something on the forums, I'd just say shut the F up and man up and seriously, get the fuck out. Because I love it when people really show a massive amount of rage towards the game, but you just know they're just going to keep playing it. It's like, oh, I'm done, I'm leaving, oh, I've had enough, oh, this game sucks, blah blah blah. And then you see them in the match for like 12 hours. So don't kind of don't get too trolly on the forums. I think a lot of people are getting very emotive on those forums. They're very difficult to read to begin with. But I think at the moment, they're like literally pretty terrible. And I used the word literally when I said I'd never use it again. Anyway, so as it stands, I think the reality is that there's going to be some quite interesting stuff in the future, certainly happening, I think, with the PS4 in terms of backward compatibility. What I would also like to see is maybe one day, would they release Dust on the PC? That'd be interesting. Certainly not now, because at the end of the day, it is a console game. It's designed, built and set as a console game. It makes sense as a console game. This would make no sense as a PC game, and it would get the worst score in the world ever, because literally the gaming elites, quote, PC game players, can you imagine PC Gamer ever doing a review of this? Can you imagine that? They would just rip it to pieces, because it'd be like, oh, badly ported. Even if it was perfectly ported, they would just say badly ported, because what they mean by that is not for the master race gamers of PCs. That's what they mean, literally. So, this is why I think at the moment it's not ready for PC. It's certainly not ready for PS4. And CCP are right in saying, probably that the focus has to be the PS3, because there's like 90 million of them out there, and there's probably only like, I don't know, 10 million PS4s at the moment. So, it takes time for that balance to switch. But naturally the business model will change, and CCP have to obviously put on their roadmap the conversion of this to the PS4. So I just think, as it stands at the moment, it's probably not worth, any kind of sweeping statement from CCP. So hence why they've not done it. Oh, very long way. That was me saying that. So there we go. So let's talk quickly about the tank. So what we've got here is our tank speed fit. A lot of people are obviously not particularly, I think, supportive of this fit, but I quite like it. I like it so much that I even flip it over and I say, come at me bros, to our enemies. Yeah, I flipped it. That's pretty funny. It's so stupid. I don't tank as much. I think a lot of people, there's been a lot of hatred and venom lately for me tanking. People don't like tanking videos. I think previously, where I could have got away with a tanking montage, people would have been like, woo, yeah, tanking montage. Nowadays, people would literally want to burn me at the stake if I even suggest a tanking montage. So I am backing off the tanking role quite a lot as well. Plus, I don't find it terribly interesting, I must admit. And it's interesting because I'm not seeing as many enemies tanking as well. What I am seeing, which is still a massive shame, is a huge amount of cowardice when it comes, and a lot of people would just say it's not cowardice, it's it's good tactics, blah blah blah, of redline railgun sniping with a seeker with a militia 80 gigajoule railgun. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing terribly wrong with that, but it's the way they sit like that, way in the red line. He thinks he's absolutely ungettable. Nope, you're not, my friend. But when it comes to like a fair fight to kill him, oh, look at this, he's been forced off the red line. What's he going to do? He must feel terrible. I bet he's literally shitting himself now. I use literally again. God almighty. Anyway, I think this is the problem with the game at the moment, in that the red line is so facilitative of this tactic. There's nothing wrong with seekers and railguns, etc. There's nothing wrong with it at all. They're cool. I like it. But I don't like that they can just sit in the red line and pretty much nothing can get them unless you do exactly what they do. Look, there's two of them there. So as I'm doing this, I'm being pounded in the rear pretty aggressively, which has a natural obvious joke to it. So it's time to get the hell out. And this is where my speed fit pretty much saves my bacon. So hopefully you're seeing why I have this fit. I lose it a lot. It's not a particularly cost effective one. So if you're going to run this fit, be prepared to be Wurikomi to death with a breech forge gun. But it's a good I quite like it. It gives me enjoyment to play it. And I think this is kind of the issue at the moment. There are certain things in the game that are a bit broken, not quite there. But there we go, a defeat. And yes, I am, kind of getting, a lot of people telling me that all I do is show victories. No, I don't. There you go. Proof. That was exhibit number A. There we go. So there we go. I think there's a lot of stuff that I think with Dust is going to be interesting to watch. And I think, should this PS4 piece be quite interesting? I mean, I'd buy a PS4 if I could play Dust on it. I honestly would. But it's the only thing I use my PS3 for at the moment, other than probably watching, BBC iPlayer. And that's kind of sad. So I think, there needs to be that little bit more within the game, or rather more within the technology that enables it to maybe be, cross-platform eventually, but certainly not yet. So there we go. Hope you enjoyed that. See you next time.